Hello YouTube, Lizzie B here. I'm learning as I go, so I'm a little bit further away from the camera today because I don't like looking up my nose as much as I've been looking up my nose, and I'm hoping that this might help, even though the camera still is kind of from a tilted up angle. Whatever the case, I'm here, we're doing this, making another video. This is one of my daily videos. And the reason why I'm even emphasizing that this is one of my daily videos is because you'll kind of find that I'm still getting my pattern going. I'm still getting my flow going. And the daily videos you'll find are ones where I don't really make a lot of references to things. Like there's no research involved. I'm not, talking about, like, I didn't do a lot of work. I didn't script it. I'm going off the cuff. That's how my daily videos are going to be, because if I had to script a video every day, it would take me forever, because scripting is something that takes me forever. But I do want to have some scripted videos. I do want to have some videos where I do research and where I use more like B-roll and do all that kind of stuff, but that requires a lot of extensive editing. So hope you don't mind me being a yapper and yapping in this video, because when I'm yapping, usually it's about something that I don't have to do research for. And somebody asked me to do a video on something that I do not have to be doing no research for. And it is, this video is going to be about deconstructing a religious belief. Now, some of you may know me from another YouTube channel that I have. And I don't know if my channel even has a name, but it's still up. And I'm considering posting this video on that channel as well. So this video might be in two places. I don't know if that's like against the law when it comes to YouTube algorithm, but I guess I'm gonna find out. But either way, I have another channel where it is literally completely devoted to me talking about having been a Jehovah's Witness. I am no longer a Jehovah's Witness. I was a Jehovah's Witness. I got a ton of videos talking about it. And so somebody asked me, this is the comment, I'm going to read the comment. It says, not really familiar with your background, so this might be a tad presumptuous, but did you deconstruct a religious belief? If so, how and why? Was overcoming the shame and victim mindset, etc. an easy process? Just a video suggestion I'd love to watch. Well, Dynamite, you are in luck, because you were on the money. I don't know, maybe you came from the channel where I was talking about all this kind of stuff. Maybe that's why you're so on the money, but you are very much on the money. Not presumptuous, well, or maybe it was presumptuous. Maybe you're just, I don't know. Either way, yes, I did deconstruct a religious belief. I belonged to a high control group, what I know now to be a high control group. It's a fundamentalist Christian religion, Jehovah's Witnesses, and I had to deconstruct my belief system. And yeah, there was nothing about it that was easy. There was nothing about it that was easy. I have so many videos talking about it, but I'm gonna run through some things now. Get back to my roots a little bit, my YouTube roots, where I'm talking about this. Big picture here, I feel like in deconstructing my religious belief system, I had to deconstruct a lot of things, because it's all, it's kind of like a sweater where you pull the string and it just takes the whole sweater apart. That's what it felt like to deconstruct my religious beliefs, because I found that it was connected to capitalism. It was also connected to deconstructing patriarchy and racism. There were so many things that religion was tied to that I had no idea. So when I left Jehovah's Witnesses, I ended up kind of learning so much about how everybody, to a very large degree, is brainwashed in some way or other to kind of serve this higher power that is really just kind of oppressive. So I'll get into all that, but one thing I do want to say is that this channel, the one that I want to say the one that you're on, but I want to put this on both channels. I think I'm going to do that. But I do want to say that one channel is going to be all about the Jehovah's Witness stuff. That's why I don't post there very much, because to be honest, at this point in my life, I am not, I just spit. I feel like I saw spit. I wonder if I'm going to see it when I edit this. Anyway, at this point in my life, I am not really thinking about Jehovah's Witness stuff very much. Like, I don't, you know, even really do a lot of content where I talk about it. Maybe I'll get back to it a little bit, but I kind of highly doubt it. But I don't want to abandon that channel completely. So, you know, if there's anything that anybody who is still watching or still wants me to do content talking about Jehovah's Witness stuff, let me know. But I'm limited to a degree in what I can talk about, because it's been so long. I feel like I've lost a lot of information. Like, I forgot a lot of things. Like, it feels like an entire lifetime ago. And in a sense, it is. So, but if there's anything that you want me to talk about there, let me know. But here, on this channel, I'm saying this channel, I'm messing myself, I'm confusing myself. But on the channel where I'm doing videos every day, religion is not gonna be like at the center of what I'm talking about. So there's that. All right, so let's set the scene. Lizzie B was 31. I believe I was 31. And oh my God, that was like 10 years ago. Jesus. Whew. All right, so yeah, about 10 years ago. The way that I deconstructed, well, the thing that triggered everything was I found out that Jehovah's Witnesses were covering up a lot of child abuse. It was bad. And that was my deal breaker. I had made a kind of like soul pact, I guess. I don't know what the word is for it, but it's like, you know how you tell yourself something? If I find out that any religion that I am a part of is doing bad things to children, I'm out. There's literally no excuse. There's nothing that anybody can say. There's no defending that. Like, I am out. It is not a religion that is backed by God. As far as I'm concerned, I'm out of there. And so I found out that Jehovah's Witnesses were covering up child abuse. And when I found that out, it was like somebody punched me in my stomach physically and knocked all the air out of my body. And I'm gonna say, like, I had an existential crisis. I had what I know now to be an existential crisis. And it was like over a period of 3 days, I was like watching all these videos, and I was just horrified, and I was learning more, and I got to a point where I was like, okay, does God even exist? So do I even exist was another question that I asked. So like literally existential crisis. I was questioning my own existence. I sat down, I did a lot of just closing my eyes and trying to figure out what was real. And I didn't know that when I was doing that I was meditating. So that kind of put me onto my meditation journey, and that turned into its own thing. But either way, that was like the start of my meditation journey. So I sat down and I said, okay, I'm gonna have to figure out what is real and what's not real. And so I started with myself. I was like, well, I don't know if I'm real or not, but I know that I'm experiencing, I'm experiencing the world. Like I feel the air on my skin. I feel, cold when it's cold, and hot when it's hot, and hungry when I haven't eaten. And, so I was just kind of like little by little making sense of the world and starting from nothing, because everything I had been taught up to that point, I was questioning it. So, and I did a video where I talked extensively about like what those days were, like what those days were like for me and all of that. It, again, a lifetime ago. Back then I was married. It was a lot, you know what I mean? And so that is the religious belief that I deconstructed, and that was how I did it and why. I deconstructed starting from, questioning everything. I was open after that experience. So it was kind of like, I was gonna try out another religion. I was going to see what the Baptists were talking about, or see what the, whoever. And then I realized, no, let's chill out. Let's not do that. And to this day, I'm still very hesitant about attaching myself to any specific belief system, because personally, what I believe, my humble opinion, is that everybody needs to do what's best for themselves. Like, I believe that my personal religious belief system is for me. And sometimes I feel like I get real adamant, and I'll be talking about certain things like masculine and feminine energy, and I'm like, no, you gotta understand, and then I listen to myself, I'm like, damn, like, you sounding real religious right now. You might need to chill. Like, this, it might not be somebody else's religion. This might not be something that appeals to them. And so I have to kind of chill when it comes to that myself. Even though I strongly believe in what I've learned, but I know that I learned it. I went through the process of doing the work. And so if I have this belief system, even if it works with my worldview and with a lot of people's worldview, it doesn't mean that it is anything more than just mine. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Like, I have not gone on to another belief system. Like, I have my thought process, and sometimes I'll explain it to people and I'll break things down, and people are like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. But when I find myself getting a little too, what's the word? It's not religious, but like zealous about it, I have to tell myself, chill out, Liz. You're not a Jehovah's Witness for this now. You know what I mean? Like, you're not preaching the good word for this new thing. Like, chill out and let people, do their thing. So that is that. You didn't ask me that, but all right. So I'm going back to your question. Was overcoming the shame and victim mindset, etc., an easy process? Whew, this is, man, is this a loaded, not to say a loaded question, but this is a heavy question. This is a heavy question. And the reason it is a heavy question, I don't know if, I was going to say, I don't know if you're familiar with Jehovah's Witnesses, but I don't think this is exclusive to Jehovah's Witnesses. The amount of shame and the victim complex that they give you is so much. It is so much. I am still working through it. It is not an easy process. And every time I think I'm good, I find out how not good I am. So I am still very much on my journey and trying to work things out and forgive myself. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing, trying to get rid of shame, of not shame in like completely, but a lot of the shame that I carry, and I think that so many people carry, is unnecessary. And not only is it unnecessary, it's really detrimental to progress, and it's detrimental to a person's ability to do the right thing. You know what I mean? Or to do things that can leave them with integrity and that can help them to make the world a better place. So I can do maybe I'll do another video talking about shame. I know Brene Brown had made a whole career on shame, but I feel like I can make a whole career on it too. Maybe not so much in a good way, but like when it comes to shame, I think that the way that the world is, and one of the biggest reasons the world is in the condition that it is to a large degree, is because of shame. People are, you know what? I'm going into a whole nother. Let me get back to Jehovah's Witnesses and shame and religion and shame. So the thing that religion does when it comes to kind of loading people down with shame is that it makes you feel like you have to earn your way out of hell. Jehovah's Witnesses did not believe in hell. However, they created, in a sense, a kind of hell on earth. And they kind of, lead you to believe that earth, life on earth is hell. It's hell and we deserve it and it's just terrible. And so when people feel guilty, they will go the extra mile in order to prove themselves. And this was kind of the fuel that keeps the religion going, is people feeling guilty and people feeling shame. And I think that's how a lot of religions are able to function, is because you're feeling like like it's your fault when bad things happen to you, because God wouldn't let that happen to you if you didn't deserve it. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, you are feeling like you're not doing enough, and there's, you know, you don't deserve God's love, and who is God? And but not to say that you're asking that question when you're in a religion. You're not asking who is God. They tell you who God is, and they always look like whoever's behind the pulpit, ironically. But I'm asking that question: who is this God that we are so not worthy of? But when it comes to religion, they're telling you that God created everything, and he was so kind as to create you scumbag, you piece of crap. You're here. You should be so ashamed of yourself. And then on top of that, things that are natural to you, you are ashamed of. So it's kind of like you're ashamed of your sexuality. You are ashamed of your body shape. If, you know, considering, like, let's say you're curvy or something like that. Like, you're ashamed of so many things that you don't have control over. So your shame compass or is kind of off. You don't know what to be ashamed of and what not to be ashamed of. So some people will decide to be ashamed of everything, and other people will just be like, okay, I'm not ashamed of nothing, but I'm gonna pretend to be ashamed of everything. And then those people shame others. But ultimately, everything that you do when you're in any kind of high control group, especially a religious high control group, is that you try to keep things very under wrapped. And, you know, I'm talking about high control groups, but I'm sure that you're talking about deconstructing just run-of-the-mill religions. They do this in just regular, you know, religions that aren't high control. The sense of shame that is embedded in people from the get-go when they start to belong to any religion is one that serves that religious group so much, because people will do all kinds of things to hide their shame, and they will pay all kinds of prices to hide their shame, and they will be shamed into doing whatever you want them to do. So it's a great way to control people is to shame them. And when someone is trying to take advantage of another person, shame is an excellent tool. I mean, think about kids who are hurt, you know, by an adult. That adult is going to be like, if you tell anybody, you are bad, you know, and nobody's going to believe you, and, you know, and you should be ashamed of what you've done. So they're going to, you know, instill shame in children about something that child should not be ashamed of. If anything, that child, in a sense, is a victim of something, but they're not going to know that they're a victim of it because they're being told that they're the ones that should be ashamed. And so they're the ones who should be held accountable for whatever way they've been victimized. On the other hand, on the other side of that, you mentioned the victim mindset. Everybody's picking on us. That's kind of the mentality with a lot of religious people. I hear a lot of Christians nowadays complaining about that. You know, in social media, they say, you know, people are picking on us. People are making us out to be something that we're not. But in this sense, it also allows these people who have been loaded down with shame and having no idea about ethics, because they won't understand what they should truly be ashamed of or what they should not be ashamed of. So they're going around shaming other people for things that those other people don't need to be ashamed of. And then when people say, hey, don't do that, I'm not ashamed, you know, I'm not ashamed that I'm gay. I'm not ashamed, you know, that I'm curvy, or that, you know, I am doing this or that job to survive. I'm not ashamed of that. And, you know, these people from these religious groups will be like, well, I'm the victim now because you're picking on me and you're making me feel bad because God told me to do this and blah, blah, blah. And so it's kind of like that victim mentality is so, it's so useful when it comes to any kind of church, because it allows people to kind of continue to be used like sheep. And anytime they are perpetuating the violence that they've been taught to perpetuate, or that has already been inflicted upon them, they're like getting the pushback, and they are already taught to believe that they're victims anyway. So that victim complex is really, really powerful, because it's kind of like confirmation bias, where the religion tells people, hey, you know, you go out into the world and you're gonna be a good Christian, and people are gonna like not like it, but what they mean is that you're being a good Christian is you